What's the difference in pressure between fronting your own acoustic duo versus playing with the Dead? Do you feel like there's a lot more weight on your shoulders, or you have to put more on?
I do in some cases, but that's just because I have a sort of I have a martyr complex or something like that, you know, a poor me complex. Or no. Actually, both of them is. I mean, it's great to be able to play at all for anybody under any circumstances, you know, and have anybody like it, you know. I mean, that's really an incredible thing, you know. And it'd be so small-minded of me to complain about any part of it, you know what I mean? It would be so chicken shit, you know. Oh man, how can anybody think differently? You know, it'd be like to complain about any level of it would be so.
What do you feel? What do you feel an artist owes his audience?
Everything, shit. I mean, either he doesn't know anything at all, you know. I mean, I don't know how you even get an audience, you know. So it's not. I don't know whether anybody owes. Ideally, nobody owes anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
In other words, everybody gets paid off. You know what I mean? The audience, the artist gets off playing, and the audience gets off listening, and that's it. That's what it's about. That's, you know, the rest of it is somebody else's story. You know, that's what I think the thing is about. And for me, I mean, being in the audience and getting off myself, I've never wanted any more than that. You know, and the times when I get off, I love it. I mean, I love, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing better, and that's where I get it from. I mean, you know, the reason I'm on stage is because I've been in the audience.
What's your favorite part of your business? Of everything you do, what do you enjoy the most?
I just love music. All of it. You know, listening to it, playing. I mean, all of it. You know, there's everything about it. Really, there's really nothing about it that I don't like. Possibly interviews is the worst of it.
Hey, thanks, man. That was nice talking to you.
Well, I mean, that's the most non-musical part. You know what I mean? That's the part that's the strangest. You know, I mean, you know, music is easy. Talking is not so easy.
Yeah.
And it's really something you have to learn. I mean, you know, you learn how to bullshit, really.
That's pretty funny. Is there any music that you play that doesn't come out on stage?
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of music. Well, yeah, right. I have this kind of a weird kind of music that I play, mostly just to myself, for myself at times. That's just weird.
Can you describe it?
No, I can't really. It's only just something I do. You know, like when I'm sitting around with a guitar, and I'm not playing, and there's nobody else around. Sometimes I get off into these zones that are, to me, are very fascinating for some reason, and I've never tried to record it. You know, so I have no idea really what it's like, but I know that as far as getting absorbed in something, I can get really absorbed in these things. But I have a feeling that they probably don't sound so great. You know, is
it more abstract than?
Yeah, I can get really carried away in it. It's abstract. It's formless music that doesn't have any form, or, you know, it's not it's not music. It's not even music that I could play with somebody. I think it's that weird. You know. I'll have to try and record it sometime and see what it really sounds like. I've never really objectively gotten away from myself and listened to it. This is not something I do all the time, but it's something I do. Okay, once in a while I fall into this zone, you know, when I'm comfortable enough and have a nice enough instrument, I just feel like playing. You know, I don't have any ideas or anything like that. I find I drift into a few kinds of areas that I just don't really know what they're like.
This is on electric guitar?
Any kind of guitar.
Is it more like playing solos, you think?
I don't know what it's like. It's just playing, you know. It's like well, like I say, it doesn't have any form, you know. So sometimes it's chordal things. Sometimes it's progressions. Sometimes it's just chords, you know. Sometimes they're kind of weird chord melodies, you know. They have leading tones. Sometimes I play a whole bunch of real dense chord things that have these leading tones, but they aren't ballad. They aren't songs, you know. It's just music.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I get into these things that might start as a little. I'll get this idea that's kind of like maybe that has a kind of a counter melody of some kind in it, and I'll start stretching it out and fooling around with it, and all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, but gradually it'll turn into this whole thing But it's never stuff that I can repeat or remember, and I don't even know whether it has any musical value or not. It's just stuff I do. It's a kind of a free form music that sometimes ideas come out of it.
Do you ever get an idea, a musical idea, or hear a line or some phrase in your mind without an instrument?
Yeah.
And then apply it to the instrument?
Oh, absolutely. That's where Terrapin, the Terrapin that the Grateful Dead, that's where that came from. Dropped into my head. Boom.
Which part?
The end part. The big theme, the big with it not only that, but it came fully orchestrated too.
Really?
Yeah. That I've had melodies drop into my head a lot, but they're usually short. They're usually not that long. That's quite a long melody. I mean, and all of it came in the way the conversational part of it. The way the instruments answer each other and that. Yeah, that's one of those things. Yeah, that happens to me. Not very often, but it does. And then I do try to apply it, but usually I lose it. Usually I forget it. Usually I get a great idea, and then by the time I get somewhere where I can either solidify it with an instrument or write it down or something like that, it's gone.
You ever have song ideas come to you at real strange times?
That's the only time they come to me. I mean, there's always some musical continuum going on, that I can sort of turn it on and off like a radio. But usually it's just mind rot. It's just stuff, you know what I mean? Every once in a while a good idea comes through, and I mean, I never know when it's going to be.